Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Tell me when you join, what are your wins? What are your wins this week? It's Friday. What are we celebrating? I am celebrating all of you for all the action that I've been seeing that you guys have been taking in your business this week. It's like you guys hit the ground running for 2021, and I love it. I love it so much. I'm so excited to be here today with you for this Facebook Live. I'm going to see how Fridays do for Facebook Lives, guys. We're going to see. But we're talking today about how to shift your focus so that you make more sales, because I know that right now everybody is like, what I've noticed in the group is everybody's like, there's so many things that I could be doing, and 2021 feels so big, and should I be on Clubhouse, and should I be doing this app, and should I post here, and what should my content be, and should I send a newsletter, or should I send? So it seems like there's this universal thing around what should I focus on that will make the most difference in my business in 2021. So that's what we're talking about today. So first of all, it's Friday. So what are we celebrating? Put it in the comments. Let me know, what are we celebrating? Guys, this is just for you. This is only going live to the All-In Entrepreneur community. This Facebook Live is specifically for you all to help bring you everything that you need to really grow your business. My focus this year is on you more than ever before, to help you reach all of your revenue goals, to help you reach all of your impact goals, to help you reach everything that you need to do to get there, including your visibility and your speaking and more. So I want to know, what are we celebrating? Are we celebrating, I don't know, like I celebrate that I didn't fall down the stairs yesterday. You can always find something to celebrate. That's my point. So what are we celebrating? But this is like a really good topic, right? How many of you feel like there's so many ways to do so many things? There's so many people that you can help. There's so many ways that you can help them. There's so many programs or offerings that you could provide to do it. There's so many places that you can go to let people know. There's so many networking groups that you can participate in. There's so many social media platforms that you can be on. There's so many content topics that you can talk about. There's so many ... Tell me right now, what does it feel like there's a lot of in your business? I want to know. This is very interactive, guys. So let me know, what do you feel like overwhelmed by right now? Or how many of you can relate to that, right? It just seems like if you really just stop, you're like, but I could help all of these people, and I could help them in all of these ways. And I could offer a group program, I could offer a course, I could offer one-on-one, I could offer this package, I could offer this product. There are a lot of products that I could sell. I could sell to all these people for all these reasons, for all of these results, in all of these ways, in all of these places, on all of these days. And we feel like to get somewhere, we have to do that, right? Because you would think, if I just do more, then more money will come in. If I just do more money will come in. So if I network more, there will be more people and there will be more sales. If I post more, there will be more people seeing me and there will be more sales. If I do this more, if I offer more ways for people to purchase from me or work with me, then I will make more sales. If I have more products, more services, right, then XYZ. If I offer more of this, if I do more of this, then there will be more. And that's not always true. In fact, that's usually never true. Good morning, Lana. Oh, good. Lana says, I'm starting to get more selective with the courses I take, the classes I join, and orders I take. Yes, because Lana, right, as I know, because you've shared this before, you are wanting to transition in your business. And I know that that means saying no to a lot of the things that you have been saying yes to, which is exactly what we're kind of talking about today. So thank you for sharing that. So we think if we do more, the natural flow of that will be that we get more back in. But that's actually not true, right? Because in the situation that I'm explaining, you're doing more of a lot of things. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Facebook user. So the reason it's showing me Facebook user, by the way, is because you have to go to StreamYard.com. There's a link above. You have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and just click and say that it authorizes you, and then it can show me your name. But I am going to go ahead and peek in the Facebook group and see who you are. Ella, good morning, Ella. Welcome to my Facebook Live. I am glad that you're here. So got the Facebook group open so I can see. So that's what we think, right? Do more, get more. But here's the problem. In this scenario, sorry guys, the one day I don't have water in front of me. Oh, good morning, Patty. Good morning. So we think if I do more, I'll get more. But here's the thing, when you're thinking about this, there are all these people I can help. So if I advertise to all of these people, if I market to all of these people, then I'll have more potential sales. If I market on all of these platforms, I'll have more eyes on me. So I'll have more potential sales. If I offer all of these variety of products or all of these variety of offerings, then, right, I can't help but have more sales. But what I want you to see, oh, good morning, Karen, good morning. What I want you to see is that is going wide and not deep. Okay, and when you go wide, you can only do a little bit of everything. And you have heard me say this over and over. Your results are equivalent to the action that you take. The results are equivalent to the action that you take. So if you only do a little bit over here and a little bit over there and a little bit here and a little bit there, so a little bit for these people and a little bit for those people and a little bit for this offering and a little bit of that and a little marketing here and a little marketing there, you're only going to get very tiny results back. And while collectively, those results could add up to the results you want. And if so, that's absolutely fine. That's usually not what most business owners are wanting. Because not only are those results just a little bit, but they're very scattered. There's no way to really predict them. It can feel very chaotic. So instead, right, the way to get results is to do more of one thing. It's to go deeper and not wider. But that's really scary because it means saying no to a lot of things, to say yes to one thing, to be able to go deep in that one thing. Because if your results are equivalent to your actions, then when you go deep in one area, your results are also going to be really deep, right? You're going to get bigger results. But that feels so scary because you have to say no to all of these things in order to say yes to the one thing so that you can really put your time, energy, and attention behind it. And like go for it, go all in on it and really see those big results. How many of you feel like you know you need to do this? You know you need to embrace the idea of saying no to a lot of potential things, to say yes to one, but you're struggling with it. I would love to know in the comments if that sounds like you. So maybe you're really resisting finding that really narrow target market, right? And I don't believe you have to have like a super narrow target market in order to succeed, but for efficiency, for marketing, for all kinds of reasons, it absolutely helps. But how many of you, regardless of whether you think you need to or not, how many of you resist that? You resist it. You're like, no, but I can help all people. Or I can help all women, or I can help all business owners, or I can help all this, all that, right? And you really resist it when somebody's like, let's narrow you. Like, how about you just help all, travel agents? Or how about you help all women who travel for their business and have teenage children? Or how about you help all outbound sales reps? Or how about you help? How many of you resist that? Yes or no? I'm curious, right? But it's scary because it feels like you're putting all of your eggs in one basket. And what if that's not the right basket, right? Can you relate to that? Let me know in the comments if you can relate. And it's the same thing for a strategy. So it's very hard for people to pick one platform to go all in on because they're like, but what if it's not the right platform? What if Facebook isn't the place for me to be posting in order to get clients or sales? What if my clients are over on the new Clubhouse app? Or what if they're on LinkedIn? Or what if they're on Twitter? I need to be in all of these places because what if I miss eyes, right? What if I miss the day that somebody was on Twitter and they could have seen me? So how many of you feel like that too? Lana's like, of course I can make art for everybody, but I won't, right? Because success comes from what you say no to, not what you say yes to. Karen says, I can relate, definitely used to resist, right? People, it's scary. I'm totally validating the fear of feeling like you go narrow, but it's not just narrow with your target market, right? It's like to say yes to really helping a specific kind of person, you have to say no to connecting and resonating with other people. And again, when you're in a scarcity-based mindset of there's not enough, there's not going to be more coming in, that can be really terrifying to do. That can be really difficult to do. So I'm totally validating that, right? I've been there before. I understand. But I'm here to tell you that that fear is actually the opposite of what will happen, because by doing less, you really do get more. The fear comes from, what if I made the wrong choice? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Like, where do you focus in order to get more sales in your business? Where do you focus in order to get more traction? And there's some key areas to focus in on, right? But I mean, I'll tell you that when I started my business, I fell into this mindset completely, right? I wanted to help all the people do all the things in all the ways. I wanted to have private and group and courses and passive income products. I wanted to have like 8 arms of my business. I wanted to be known for everything. So when I started, for those of you who don't know my story, I was a business attorney for 13 years, and then I left the law. Long story, won't talk about it today, but I left the law to become a dating coach. And within a year, that business built successfully. In fact, after 3 months, I had surpassed the salary that I had made as an attorney. And so people started coming up to me saying, how did you do it? Like, what did you do to build this business, Rita? Tell me about this business. And so I started mentoring women on how to grow their businesses. And then I stepped in by the end of that year, of my first year in business as a dating coach, I had fully transitioned into business coaching. And that's what I've been doing for like 6 years, helping women, grow profitable businesses. But that first, when I left the law to become a dating coach, I wanted to help all singles. It was like men, women, divorced, widowed, never married, didn't matter, right? Because why wouldn't I try to reach as many potential clients as I could? I also wore all the hats in my business. How many of you, honestly, are wearing all the hats in your business? You're doing everything in your business. I mean, I was the one that was obviously doing the client work, but I was also creating the graphics, and I was scheduling the graphics, and I was formatting my newsletter, and I was figuring out how to use MailChimp, and I was like editing videos, and I was editing audios, and I was doing like the accounting, and I was doing all of this stuff. Okay, so we've got another me, right? We've got Ella says me, Patty says me, Lana says me, right? So I don't know how many of you have heard I have a podcast episode, and there's a video in this group if you search for it. It's like everything I didn't do to reach 20K months. And I say where I was stuck, the minute that I started getting consistent revenue was when I said I can't wear all the hats. Just because you can do something and just because you enjoy doing something does not mean that as the CEO of your business that is a smart thing for you to do. I mean, I could, I have a podcast right now. I could edit my podcast. That's a terrible decision for me to make as a business owner, for me to spend my time editing my podcast, right? I could create the promo graphics for my podcast. That's a terrible decision for me to make as a business owner, right? What I need to be doing, and that's what we're going to talk about here in a minute, but what I need to be doing to grow my business as both the service provider and the CEO is very different. Meaning you have to say no to wearing all of the hats in your business, right? So now you start seeing how scary this all gets, right? You have to say no to helping everybody. So I wanted to help all singles in all ways, do all things. I wanted to help you no matter what your single status was, no matter what your age was, no matter what your dating problem was. I wanted to have a group coaching program, and I wanted to do private coaching, and I wanted to have passive income like videos and products, right? So that's one area where I was trying to do all the things. And then in my strategy, I also was like, well, I have to be all the places and all the ways so people know about me, right? I need to be on Facebook, and I need to be on Instagram, and I need to be on Twitter, and I need to be out in person networking, and I need to be speaking, and I need to be running workshops, and I need to have a newsletter, and I need to be writing articles, and I need to be being interviewed, and I need to be, because I thought, well, the more I do all of these things, the more eyes will be on me, the more people will know about me, and the more clients I get, because not only will I be in all of these places getting all of these eyes and all of this attention, but now I have all of these ways to help all of these different people that are going to be seeing me, right? And I have different offerings and programs, so everybody should find something that they like, so I can't help but get clients, right? Then the third thing was I was doing all the things in my business. I mean, I was doing everything in my business. And so here I was working around the clock because I was doing all the things, right? So I was doing all the work to implement all the strategies to try to reach and help all of the people. And while I had clients, it was inconsistent. It was chaotic. It felt a little desperate. Like it felt like I really I was definitely in a scarcity mindset where I felt like, okay, like maybe the next client won't come, or maybe the next. So that just like kept the cycle going, right? Where it was like, because I was in a scarcity based mindset, I really still believed there weren't going to be enough clients, or there weren't going to, so I had to do all the things in all the ways and offer all the whatever and take care of everything myself so that. And so it looks like a lot of you can relate to this. Yes. So it wasn't until I learned how to focus. And so when I'm talking about focus, I'm not meaning like how to eliminate distractions, because if you're doing the wrong things, it won't matter if you're distracted or not. If you're doing the wrong things, if you're taking the wrong actions, if you have your focus in the wrong place, it's just not going to matter if you're distracted or not. So that's not what I mean. I'm not talking about that like head down, able to do the work and not get distracted by pings on your phone or anything like that. I'm talking about where to put focus in your business for maximum results. So how many of you feel like you're missing some of that focus? And where are you missing the focus? Are you offering a lot of different offerings? Are you trying to reach a lot of different people? Are you doing a lot of the work in your business yourself? Tell me a little bit about, are you doing all the strategies? Are you really trying everything? You're networking and you're posting, you're on multiple social media sites, you're sending newsletters, you're writing a blog. How many of you feel like you either have a lot of strategy or a lot of offerings and people you're trying to reach, or you're doing a lot of things in your business, or all of it? I'm curious. It'll help me for the rest of this video if you can let me know in the comments like where you fall into that, right? But at the beginning, it was me doing everything. And I was so tired. I was so exhausted. Physically, yes, but more mentally. I mean, I still remember this. There was a night that I just started crying. It was like somebody said, "No thanks, Rita, what you do is great and I love it, but I'm gonna pass for now." And I remember sitting down and just crying and being like, that's it. And then my husband came in to like comfort me, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take care of dinner." And I was like, "Ah!" He was like, "I'm gonna get chicken fajitas or something." And I just started like yelling at him. I was like, I forget what I even said. But it was because I was overwhelmed. And overwhelm comes from too much yes. That is the definition of overwhelm. So if you're feeling overwhelmed in your business because you're not getting the results you want, if you feel overwhelmed because you feel like you're working all the time, but you're not getting results that match with the amount of effort that you get, if you feel overwhelmed because you're out there reaching all the people and you have all of these things and you have all of these ways and you don't understand why you're not getting the clients or the money or the revenue you want, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed from that, it all relates back to too much yes. You have to learn how to focus. And that means you have to say no. You have to say no a lot to a lot of different things. And again, that gets scary. And to be able to do that, you have to tap in to that abundance mindset. You have to tap into that certainty. You have to tap in to detachment. So that was me. After I yelled at my husband, he was like, "Maybe you should get some help." I was like, "What kind of help?" He was like, "All the help, but maybe a business coach." And I was like, "Yeah, probably." And so I hired a business coach who talked me through getting in my own way, right? She kept getting me out of my own way so that I would say no to a lot. That's when I narrowed my market to single women in their 40s who were divorced. So divorced women in their 40s who were dating for the first time since their divorce. They had very different challenges, very different struggles, very different ways of thinking about dating than a 40-year-old who had never been married before, right? A 40-year-old who had never been married thinks about dating totally differently. Her urgency is different. The results that she wants is different. The reason she thinks she's not successful in love is different. Very, very different. So it could be the exact same woman, exact same age, exact same, clone them. And the one difference is one is divorced and one is not. And that changes the game for everything. And because of this coach, I was able to start saying, I'm only going to talk to this one person. Everything I do is going to be to reach this one person because that's the way I'm going to resonate with her. I have to be inside her head. She has to be like, Rita really understands me and knows me. And if I was trying to reach both the 40-year-old never married and the 40-year-old divorced dating for the first time, I'd have to speak too generically. And if I spoke that generically, I wouldn't resonate with either one. They both appreciate what I do. This is where you fall in the trap of people saying, what you do is so important. What you do is so valuable. I really love what you do. Like, I think I could use this. And then nobody hires you. How many of you have had that happen? Where you feel like you go out and people are saying, I love what you do. Oh my gosh, what you do is amazing. What you do is incredible. I love everything about it. And they don't buy from you. They don't hire you. It's because you're being too generic to emotionally connect on the level that you need for someone to go, oh my gosh, that is me. I need that. I feel it. I want it, right? So to get that level of emotional connection, you have to alienate people. The only way you will resonate on that deep level with somebody is to alienate everybody else. And that again is scary. Like Patty says, yes, right? So you have to learn how to get out of your own way mentally, right? This is all the mindset work, and step into abundance and knowing that there's plenty in order to feel comfortable doing that. But again, when I was trying to generically just talk to every single person, whoa, that didn't work. But even every single woman, that didn't work. And then the single women in their 40s, that didn't work because I couldn't speak so specifically. When I was doing that, I couldn't talk about just how you would feel dating for the first time since your divorce and all of the challenges around not knowing. If I said, oh my gosh, I get it, right? So online dating wasn't a thing for you when you were last single. It's overwhelming. You don't know how to use any of this technology. You don't even understand it. It's scary. It's privacy concerns, like, and also you don't want to make the same mistake again. You made a choice and you got married, but you want to know what you did to choose the wrong partner. You want to know your part in it so that you're, able to like really call in the right partner this time. You just want to get out there and have fun dating. You want this to be fun, but online dating feels scary and not fun. Being in the dating pool again for the first time feels scary and not fun, right? That is alienating the 40-year-old never married, because the 40-year-old never married is sitting there going, what do you mean? I have been using every dating tool there has been since the minute it came out. So I completely know how to use online dating. I'm not scared of it. Also, it's not my fault that I'm single. TikTok, Rita. I need to find somebody. I need to get married, right? Like, I don't want to take my time. Like, urgency is happening here. I want to have babies. I want to live my life. Like, I need to make this happen. And I just need to know where the good guys are and et cetera. So, right, hear what would be going on in their head and what they would be thinking. I mean, totally different. That's the level you have to be able to speak to somebody on. So that's scary to say, I'm going to alienate all of these other people to really resonate. But again, actions are equal to result. Your results are equal to your actions. And if your actions are deep, then your results will also be deep. Meaning, by saying no to everybody and saying yes to that one person you want to reach, you will attract them. They now see, oh my gosh, yes, Rita, it's like you put people used to say, Rita, it's like you put a tape recorder, I guess a tape recorder, was that like, maybe that's what they said, I don't know, a recorder at my kitchen table and recorded the thoughts in my head or recorded a conversation I was having, or it's like, you know me, you know what I'm thinking. Right? So I went that deep. So then when you connect like that, people are going to be like, yes, I see me. You know my problems. You know my challenges. And if you're able to show that you have a solution for it, now they're going to be more likely to buy it. So you have to narrow who you're helping. But then you also have to narrow how you're helping them. So like the next thing that I see are people offering everything under the sun. Here are all the different ways you can work with me. I have a 12-month program and a 6-month program and a 3-month program, and they're all the same. The only difference is 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. But I also have a group, and I also do these master classes, and I have a membership program, and you can buy a book, and I have these PDF downloadables, and people stop trusting you the more offerings that you have at a certain point in your business. Now, there's a way that you add on products into your business. There's like a process for that will really help you, right? But at the beginning, if you want to be successful, you have to say no to all of these potential ways that you can work with people, all of these potential offerings you can have, and say yes to one by going all in on one. So maybe you want to coach people, go all in on private one-on-one coaching. Get great at it, right? Get great at marketing it, get great at doing it, get great at serving your clients with it, like become excellent at it. And when that is maxed out and you have no more private client spots, then we can move on and it's working like a well-oiled machine. Then we can work on adding something else, right, into the repertoire of how you work with people. But here's another thing that's happening that people don't realize. Maybe you're like, yes, I want to work with people one-on-one. And I want to know if this sounds like you guys. Okay, so for all my service providers out there, let me know if this sounds like you. I want to work one-on-one with somebody. And so I'm putting out this offer for private coaching. And you put it out there in all the places and all the ways, right? And nobody says yes. Or people say, oh, I like it. That sounds good, but nobody hires you. And that sits there for a week, maybe two. And around the 2-week mark, you're like, I guess nobody's going to hire me for private coaching. It's probably too expensive. It's probably not the right price. So you slash the price. You know what? Instead of $1,000, this is now $500 a month. And you do that. But nobody's still taking you up on the offer. And you're like, well, maybe it's just people don't want to private coach with me. So you know what? I'm going to do a group. And if I do a group, it can be cheaper. It can be like $100 a person. And so now I'm going to do a group. And you go to market the group, but you're struggling to fill the group. And you're like, well, maybe it's a course. Maybe people just want to do a course. And if I do a course, then it'll be passive and I can sell it for less. So you offer private at a certain price, but then in your marketing, people see that the price has decreased. And then people see, actually, it's not private coaching at all. It's now group coaching. And then people see, okay, well, actually, it's not group coaching. It's now a masterclass or a workshop. Or what happens is you're sending out a signal that you don't even trust your own stuff. You don't even trust that your thing is the right thing and that it's going to work. And people pick up and mirror that trust back. So when you slash your prices, when you change your prices frequently, when you are putting out different offers, when you put out one offer, but then there's another offer and they're all competing, 12 months, 3 months, 6 months, group, private, like whatever, and they're all competing in a certain way with each other. All that does is send a signal out to your audience that you don't even trust the solution that you're putting out there. If you trusted it, if you knew it would work, if you knew it would change people's lives, if you knew that people would want it, if you knew that you would stick with it, right? You would just, if you knew, let's go back to the private coaching scenario. If you knew that working one-on-one privately with people would be a life changer for them, and you knew that without a doubt, and you knew that if you could just show people, right, talking to that one person and letting them see it and letting them feel it, that they would want it, that's all you would do. And you knew, if I could guarantee, if I said, look, 100%, you'll fill all your private coaching spots, 100%, they're guaranteed. You wouldn't stop. You wouldn't change it. You would just keep talking about it. You would keep showing up for it. You would keep everything consistent. You would keep everything the same. So when you're doing that, it's sending out a signal that you don't trust. Number one, you don't trust in the success of your business overall. You actually don't believe these programs will work, right? You don't have that belief of there's no way that this can't work. Like it's 100% going to work. People are going to want it. People are going to like it. I'm going to fill it. I'm going to fill all the spots. It's going to be great. Because if you really believed that, you would never stop talking about it. You would never stop showing up for it. And that would be the only thing you would talk about all the time. But you're also sending out that signal to other people that you don't trust your solutions. And so what they're feeling is, well, maybe her private coaching isn't so good. Maybe that's why she had to slash the price. Well, maybe it's not private coaching she's good at. Maybe it's a group. Oh, wow. Well, now she's offering this. So I guess a group isn't good, right? I guess you're just hurting yourself by offering all of the things in all of the ways, right? So now we know you have to really focus on one person to talk to, but then you really need to know, what is that main product? What does that mean service? What is that main thing that I'm going to go all in on so I can develop my mindset around it, fully believe it's going to work, fully step into it, fully feel the certainty, and show up for it like somebody who fully feels certain. Try to say that 5 times fast. Who fully feels certain. Because if you were 100% certain it would work, you would show up for it with an energy unprecedented. You would be consistent. You would show up, right? So then it's like, okay, we know we're talking to one person, and now we know we're offering one thing. But now you want to go market this one thing in a million places. And when you're marketing this one thing in a million places in a million ways, guess what? We have the same problem. You're going wide, not deep. So you're having a lot of little traction, little things, but it's impossible to be consistent with everything. So by doing everything, you're going to be consistent with nothing. And it's the consistency. I'm sure you've heard this a million times, right? Consistency is key. So it's the consistency that's going to help you. But here's the thing. It's all these freaking algorithms on the internet, right? When you're talking about the internet world and you think, oh, I posted once. When somebody says, oh, Rita, I posted about my program and nobody signed up. I'm like, well, how many times did you post? And they're like, well, I posted once on Facebook and I posted once on LinkedIn. I tweeted about it twice. I sent one newsletter. And it's like, okay, so like, here's a quote I want you to like really embrace. To be successful, you have to get over your fear of being annoying. That's a Rita quote. To be successful, you have to get over your fear of being annoying. That's just what you have to do. But what does that mean in a tangible, practical way? Okay, here's what it means in a tangible, practical way. Pick one platform and be all over it to the point where every time somebody turns around, you're there. You're there and you're talking about that one thing. Because here is what happens. The right people get more and more excited. I want you to think about something that you've purchased. Okay, something you've hired, someone you've hired, a program you purchased, a product you purchased, something like that. Let me use the example of a retreat. So maybe there's a retreat or a conference or something, and you hear about it, and you're like, oh, that sounds fun. That sounds exciting. But you're not really ready to buy it yet. Like, it was exciting, but it didn't really like, but now you hear about it again, and you're like, oh, okay, like, it is exciting. And then you hear somebody else talk about it, and then you see a Facebook ad for it, and then you hear another person on Facebook post about it, and then on their Facebook page there's something, and then you see them live streaming about it. Every time you hear about it, you're getting more and more excited. Every time you hear about it, because you were already interested in it a little bit, now every time you hear about it, the excitement builds and the excitement builds and the excitement builds. And then it's like you can't not see it, right? Every time you turn around, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing about this conference every time I turn around. So not only are you getting more and more excited, but now it's like literally everywhere you look and you're like, it's a sign. This is freaking a sign that I am supposed to go to this conference. I'm excited about it. I see it everywhere. It must be a sign that I need to be at this conference. And then you click and register for the conference. When you're not showing up in one place like that with that much frequency and that much consistency, you are not giving people the opportunity to go through that cycle. And that's a natural cycle. They need to go through that cycle to get more and more excited, to feel like this was meant for them, that this is talking to them, to let that excitement grow to the point of wanting to click the button and buy the thing. And when you're not doing that, when you're inconsistent, you show up on a Monday and they're like, oh, but then you don't show up again until Friday. Then they're not having that ability to hear about it and let that excitement build. And so they're always at this low level of energy around it. But that's usually because you guys are like splitting your time, right, on multiple platforms, which is what I did when I started. So pick a platform, and it's easier when you know who your one person is, right? Pick a platform and go all in on that platform and be all over that platform. So that's like the place to focus your time too. And once you start focusing like this and you're saying no to all the other platforms and you're saying no to all the other people and you're saying no to, and you're only talking to one person about one thing in one place over and over and over and over again, building that excitement, building that awareness. Yes, the wrong people are going to be like, I don't want to hear about this so much. The reason they're annoyed about hearing about it is they're not going to buy it. It's not anything they're excited about. So that's cool. We want them to be annoyed by it. We want them to leave your world, your orbit. We want them to unfollow your business page. We want them to leave your group. We want them to do that because they're not going to purchase it necessarily. Right now, there are times like there might be a program I run that's a starter level program. And a lot of you in here are more experienced, higher level earners and business owners. So you're not going to necessarily be interested in that program, but you're not going to be annoyed that I'm talking about another program because you already like me, right? And you already like the programs that are for you. So if somebody was annoyed enough, oh my gosh, I'm an established business owner. I can't believe Rita's marketing a starter program for business or whatever, then leave, because it means you don't really like me that much, right? It's not about me, right? So I want you to embrace it. That's what I mean by focus. Is this resonating? Tell me some of your thoughts. You guys are really quiet today. I know it's Friday, but tell me what's coming up for you here, right? So I shared a story in the Facebook group about my client, Wendy. And she's not my client anymore. She's a former client. She's a friend. She was a client for many, many years. And she's been a friend for longer. And she was really struggling with getting the client, even though she was super talented and skilled and she did have clients and she did have revenue, she was struggling to get the consistent clients and the consistent revenue at the level of revenue that she wanted. And it was because she was so focused on making money that she wasn't focused on the process. So when you start focusing on making the sale, when you start focusing on getting paid, when you start focusing on getting the money, that's when you're going to be in a scarcity mindset because you're worried that you're not going to get the sale. You're worried that you're not going to get paid. You're worried that all of this isn't going to happen, which leads you to saying yes to all the things because that's a fear-based decision. Fear-based decision is, I can't pick just one person. I'm scared to pick one person. So I have to talk to all the people. I can't just offer one thing, Rita. I'm afraid to offer just one thing. What if it's not the right thing? So I have to offer all the things. Rita, like I can't just market in one place. I'm afraid to market in one place. What if it's the wrong place? Guys, no successful business was ever built off fear-based decisions. No successful business was ever built off of fear-based decisions. Only decisions of faith build businesses, of trust, of like certainty, of knowing, right? That's it. So we want you to be making these strong decisions, right? So when you're like in that scarcity-based mindset, that's what leads to all the yes, which leads to overwhelm, which leads to analysis paralysis, which leads to tiredness, burnout, no results, no action, low energy. So now you can start seeing what the phrase you get more, right? There's deeper results by doing less means. By talking to one person about one thing, in one place over and over and over again, more of those people are going to be excited about that thing and purchase it. And you're going to get more results. Does this make sense? Are you guys like, you guys are super quiet. Little feedback would be nice on a Friday. Little feedback, especially because I don't have my coffee in front of me, guys. Don't have my coffee. So that's one way. That's one thing that I mean when I say focus. But here's the other. So it's important that you know the stage of business you're in. And the stage of business is a Rita-ism thing. You're not going to find this in a book. But I really believe there are two stages of business. Oh, good. Since this makes sense. Good. Makes perfect sense. Yes, makes sense. Awesome. So, okay, I'm just like carrying a lighter around because I was going to light my candle and then I didn't light my candle. Okay, good. I'm glad this makes sense. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, guys. Okay, so here's the other thing. The Rita-ism. It's really important that you know what phase of business you're in. The reason that most people struggle, not only are they doing all the things in all the ways for all the people and all, what we talked about, but they're doing the wrong things. So I believe there are two phases of business. There is the business building phase. This means you are not at the level of revenue you want yet. So you're not making the money you want consistently. So once you have made the monthly revenue you want, maybe you want to make $5,000, maybe you want to make $10,000. And this is why you ebb and flow between phases, because you'll have new goals. So let's say you want to make $5,000 a month. Once you're making $5,000 a month in your business consistently, so let's say 6 months, once you've made $5,000 6 months in a row, then you're in the next phase, which is the marketing phase. Okay, so the business building phase is I haven't made the level of revenue, the amount of money I want, or I have every now and then, but it hasn't been consistent. But once you've consistently made that revenue for 6 consecutive months, then you're in the marketing phase. Why does this matter? In the business building phase, you need to focus on revenue generating activities. These are activities that are designed to get you paid now or in the immediate future. Marketing is, hey, I'm making the money I want. Like I've got the clients I want and need. I really can't sign clients right now. I need to have a longer cycle. I need to have a marketing cycle to bring people into my pipeline and move them through so that when I'm ready for clients, I have some there. So marketing, the marketing phase is about pipeline, and the business building phase is about getting paid now, getting hired now. When people are struggling to make the money that they want in their business, they are often doing marketing activities. So they'll be in the business building phase of business, but they're filling their day with marketing activities. Likewise, when people are like the faucet is on and they're overwhelmed and there's so much work and they can't handle it and there are all these clients and it's coming quickly, and it's because they're doing business building activities in a marketing phase. So knowing the phase of business you're in is really important. So if you want to tell me in the comments what phase you're in, you would be in the business building phase if you have not yet generated the revenue you want for 6 consecutive months. So if you have generated it, but not for 6 consecutive months, or you haven't ever generated it, you're in the business building phase of business. If you have generated it for 6 consecutive months or more, you're in the marketing phase of business. So put that in the comments when you know what phase of business you're in. But what does that mean, revenue generating activities? Because many people then will be like, but Rita, I'm in the business building phase and I am doing revenue generating activities. And then they'll tell me what they're doing. Like, no, you're not. So what are revenue generating activities? This is it, guys. This is it. These are the only revenue generating activities. Networking online and networking offline. And that does not mean promoting or marketing. Networking, relationship building, learning about other people, connecting with other people, giving value to other people, finding out about their goals, helping them, real relationship building. Networking online and networking offline. Public speaking, so speaking to groups, associations, organizations, speaking on stages, speaking like this, a Facebook Live, something like this, running your own workshops, running your own events, not pre-recorded video, interactive. So think interactive. I'm speaking at a breakout session, speaking at a lunch and learn, where people can come up and talk to you, where people can interact with you, where it's live, where it's real time. So revenue generating activities are networking, online or offline, public speaking to groups, associations, organizations, or your own lives or your own events. Vendor tables, yes, there's some digital, but when the world reopens again, vendor and exhibitor tables, because again, you're interacting, you're also collecting email addresses, and sales calls. And that's it. That is it. Okay. So those are revenue generating activities. What are marketing activities? Writing articles, publishing a blog, creating funnels, even your newsletter a little bit, although that becomes part of relationship nurturing. So I'm not saying don't do that, but it's not a revenue generating activity. Being on a podcast, having a podcast, that's a marketing activity. So you're working on your website, your logo, photos, graphics, social media posts. So like the educational based marketing posts, those are marketing, educational based marketing posts, right? So you're having a podcast, being interviewed on a podcast, that's marketing. Writing an article, being quoted in an article, that's marketing. Doing social media posts about educating and promoting, that's marketing. Working on your branding, your website, your copy on your website, that's marketing. Working on funnels, marketing. If you're in a revenue generating stage of business, stop those things immediately and focus just on networking, relationship building, public speaking, vendor tables and exhibitor tables, and sales calls. You're getting sales calls from this. That is it. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. You can say no to all the other things. Guys, I still don't have a website. I mean, yes, if you go to ritamademedowit.com, there is a thing that looks like a website. It is not a website. It is a placeholder webpage. I have been in business for almost 7 years. I still do not have a website, right? I'm going to this year because I'm in the marketing phase of business, but yes, I'm just showing you, you don't need that in order to build your business. Not even. So how many of you feel like maybe you're not doing the right activities for the phase of business you're in? I see a lot of you said business building, that you're in the business building phase. How many of you feel like you're actually not doing the right activities for the phase of business you're in? You should be spending, if you run your business full time, you should be spending 3 hours minimum on the activities that fall under the phase of business that you're in. So if you are in the business building phase and your business is full time, you should be spending a minimum of 3 hours a day networking, public speaking, or finding networking or finding public speaking, working an exhibitor table or vendor table or finding them, and having sales calls. Minimum of 3 hours. The more that you do, the more that you'll get. After you've checked off the 3 hours, then you're allowed to go over and do marketing activities. Then you can work on your website. Then you can do an article. So I'm not saying you can't do any marketing activities in the business building phase. I'm saying you have to complete 3 hours of business building activities before you go to marketing activities. So then having a strategy for that becomes really important. Okay, so that is how you say no to things. You're like, I'm saying no to all of these opportunities and all of these ways that I'm growing my business because I'm in this phase of business. So these are the activities I need to focus on. And then to live that out, to live out your networking strategy, to live out your relationship nurturing strategy, which is a piece of the networking. So networking involves two things: making people aware of you and your business, and then nurturing relationships. That falls under networking. So your awareness strategy into nurturing relationship strategy, right? All of that, your speaking strategy, all of that gets back to, I'm talking to one person, I'm connecting with one kind of person for one kind of reason about one kind of thing, and I'm doing it in this one networking group or this one place or this one platform or this one networking group and this one platform, but still only to this one person to talk about this one thing. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah, so someone just says, Amy says, I do all marketing activities right now, but you're in a business building phase, right? So Amy also said she's in a business building phase. So that is one thing you can do immediately, Amy, to start seeing results in your business, is now shift your focus over to networking, and networking to be with your target market, that one person we were talking about, and build real relationships with them, show up as the expert for them through speaking, give them a lot of value, right, through networking and speaking. And then you know what you're talking about and why you're talking about it, what you have to offer them and all of that. Glad, yes, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. So then, guys, to do that, people are like, Rita, a minimum of 3 hours a day, but I have all these things to do. Well, normally when we knock all the marketing activities out and you're only focused on business building, now you don't have so much to do. Because all that marketing stuff, that's what takes forever, right? That's what finding graphics and doing copy and making brochures and doing all that, right? But yes, there are other tasks that will need to be done in your business too. You, as the owner of your business, should, to get the business for sales, right? So you have the service provider hat, you do the thing you do, but your other hat is the CEO/sales team for your business. You need to be building the relationships and having the sales calls. You need to be out there meeting, doing the networking. That's something only you can do. Doing the networking, you need to be doing this. You need to be speaking. That's something only you can do. And you need to be having sales calls. That's something only you can do. And when I say a minimum of 3 hours, and people are like, but Rita, I have all this other stuff. I have to return emails. I need to do the follow-up. I need to send follow-up emails from networking. I need to nurture the relationships. Remember, it's awareness and nurturing. I need to nurture the relationships, and I'm nurturing them through my Facebook group, and I'm nurturing them through a newsletter. And I need to like create all of the stuff that I'm going to display at these vendor tables. And I'm dealing with scheduling issues to schedule the sales calls. No. That's all stuff you outsource. You delegate that. You automate it, or you delegate it, or you get it off your plate. Because when you free up that time, then you're going to have more time to do the things that will actually get you paid, right? When I format a newsletter, that doesn't get me paid. When I mean, it can help, right? Because a newsletter could eventually bring somebody into a sales call, but like, I don't have to be the one to format the newsletter. So this is where people fall back into the scarcity mindset. And then they're like, but I can't afford, right? After I make $5,000, then I'll get an assistant. After this, there are all kinds of ways, guys, that you can get support, from a free apprentice to from a low-cost apprentice to a free intern, to just having a VA for 5 hours a month even, right? So maybe $100 a month that you're paying, maybe for a VA, maybe $200 for a VA. And in 5 hours, they can get a lot done. There's a lot of VA can do in 5 hours to help you be consistent in these things and to give you the space, the time, and the energy to do all these other things. So it means saying yes to being the service provider and saying yes to being the CEO, but saying no to being everything in your business. Don't be the bottleneck in your business. I had a client the other day say, Rita, she has been wanting to do a blog and she's been wanting to put out a blog forever, and she hasn't done it. And she finally admitted, I'm the bottleneck. The only way I'm going to be consistent with this blog is outsourcing it. Because what's the point of doing the blog if you're not going to show up consistently? If you're not going to show up and really work that strategy, remember, if that's her one thing, if the blog is her one thing, and she's going to go deep on that blog to get deep results from the blog, it's not going to happen if she's not consistent. And until she can recognize, I'm never going to be consistent with it because I don't like the tech side of it. I don't like formatting it. I don't like posting it. I don't like keyword tagging it. I don't like, then she's not going to see that she's the bottleneck that will keep it from being consistent and keep it from working. So she's like, I'm just going to hire a VA for 5 hours a month to come and I'll write the blog and she can format it, make it pretty and find the graphics and post it for me. And guess what? That frees up more than the 5 hours for her, because the energy of not only just the time it would have taken for her to do it, but the time it took her to not do it, where she just thought about doing it and then felt bad about not doing it. And then do you see that? Like, it frees up so much more. So that's what I mean by learning where to focus so that you make more sales. So guys, do you guys have any questions about any of this? Do you feel like maybe you have some actionable takeaways? I'd love to know an insight, an aha, something you're going to do as a result of this, right? But again, it's about to get these deep results, you have to pick one thing to go deep on. It means you have to stop going wide. You have to stop casting a wide net, because that will only give you shallow results. So you have to say no to a lot of things. You have to say no to a lot of potential people you can help. It means saying no to a lot of different ways that you can help them. It means saying no to a lot of ways that you could reach them. It means saying no to a lot of things that you can do in your business. But by saying yes to the right things and going deep on those things, your results will then be deep, right? If you're not resonating with anybody, and I always say this too, guys, if you're already doing all of the things in all of the ways for all of the people, doing all of the things in your business and offering all of the things, and you don't have the money you want, it's not working. So like, you also have to acknowledge that, right? Like, they'll go, but Rita, I have to be all the places and all the ways, marketing to all the people with all the offerings and all the whatever, because that's what I'll do to get more clients. And I'm like, well, how long have you been doing that? Well, I've been doing that for like 3 months, Rita, and I'm really frustrated because it's not working. It's not working. So stop doing it, right? And do this other thing instead. Not only will it feel more spacious and feel more connected and come at you with more ease, but it will work, right? It will work. So if you struggle with this, guys, I don't know if you've seen the post. This month, I'm not marketing, I'm not launching a program. I actually have some private client spots that are open January and February, so I'm not in a full client load right now. So I had a lot of spaciousness in this month. And so I'm offering, as like a gift, free coaching calls. And so if you want a free coaching call, I'll put the link below, but they're 20-minute coaching calls where we can talk about what challenge you have. Maybe we can get clear about where your right focus is or what your right strategy is. So if anything popped up here for you and you're thinking, oh, I want to talk about that more, or I want to dig in on that more, we can have a 20-minute coaching call. I opened my calendar up for tons of them this month. I don't usually do that. I usually have like a full client roster, and then I'm running a mastermind, and then I'm running my group. But my group isn't going. My mastermind, that is, but like my group's not running. I don't have a full client load right now, and I'm not launching anything. So I have some ability to do this. So take me up on it. I'll put the link in the comments. Have a coaching call with me. We'll dig into where your challenge is. We'll get you, moving. We'll get you moving forward. But if any of this was an issue for you, if you feel like, oh, this is me, I just don't know who I should talk to, or I don't know where I should be talking to them, or is this the right offer to give them, or Rita, you say outsource, but how do I do that? How do I delegate so that I'm not editing my own podcast or doing my own graphics or whatever it is, right? If you don't know how and you want a creative way to do that within the budget that you have, then use this phone call and talk to me, okay? I'll put the link when we're done here in the comments. Otherwise, guys, have a good night. For those of you who are on Clubhouse, the new Clubhouse app, I know not everybody is. I heard a rumor that Android's opening up in like 2 weeks, though. So soon, almost everybody will be able to be on Clubhouse. But if you are on the Clubhouse app, I am part of and facilitating a panel of about 10 other women CEOs who have all generated multiple 6 figures in our businesses. And we're talking about this topic. Everything we did not do to do this. So we have everyone from $200,000 a year to over $500,000 a year, coming in to talk in more detail about stop doing this. Don't do this. Here's what not to do so that you can focus on these things and see results in your business. So that'll be at 5:30 Eastern in the Clubhouse app. I will also be sharing notes and takeaways next week for those of you who are not in Clubhouse. And of course, I'll be back with another live next week. But again, I'll put the link for a free coaching call. Take advantage of it while I've got them in my schedule, while I've got the ability. I'd love to try to help you and support you. If you do have any questions, if you're watching this on replay or you come back to watch or you just didn't ask a question, feel free, ask your question below. I come back, I comment on all the comments. So, all right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you got a takeaway. I see Karen says, yes, she has a VA helping her now, and it makes all the difference in the world. So, guys, I want to help you. I want to make all the difference in the world to you and your business. So, give me a call or like schedule a call and we'll talk, and I'll be seeing you around, and ask me any of your questions below. I want to help you. So have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here with me on a Friday morning, and have a great weekend, guys. Bye.